You don't hear about people breaking into houses very often, but you do hear about organizations that have fallen prey to ransomware on a daily basis. Welcome to Rarefied Air. In this podcast series, I talk about customer service and innovation and how they overlap. In this three-part podcast, I'm going to talk about security and how your organization can be more secure. A little bit of background about myself. I happen to be responsible for security for InterSystems, as well as risk and compliance, product support, product education, our cloud and managed services, and a few other areas. Let me start with a personal story. Several years ago, there was an attempted break-in at my house. My 13-year-old daughter happened to be in the house. Luckily, the intruder didn't get in. The police came and he was gone. And the police caught him a few weeks later trying to break into another house. But having the experience of an intruder trying to break into my house really made me rethink security. Should I put in an alarm system? Should I have cameras? What else can I do to make sure my family is protected? Luckily, break-ins don't happen very often, and I don't live in a fancy neighborhood. So I often go to IT events or other types of events where I run into CIOs, CTOs, IT directors that are responsible for IT. And I'm interested in what their point of view is on things related to security. So I kind of break the ice and say, do you use two-factor authentication? And I'm really surprised at how often they say, no, not yet. And that's kind of a tip-off that they're not really well prepared to deal with a security event, an intruder in their infrastructure. All it takes is stolen credentials, and it's a problem. So there are lots of simple things that you can do. In the case of multi-factor authentication, it's when you try to log into something and you get a code on your phone, a code sent to your phone by text, and you type in that code and you're off to the races. There are other, of course, simple things that you can do to make sure your organization is secure. But I think it's a really, really important topic. Break-ins in homes don't happen very often, but every single day we hear about a big name company having a security event of some sort, quite often ransomware. So that's why this series is important, to give the listeners simple steps that can be taken to make your organization more secure. Let's start with how the ransomware threat actors, those intruders, get into your systems. It starts with credentials. They steal credentials from your employees or other people that have access to your systems. How do they do this? Quite often by phishing. It's one of those emails, looks legitimate, but it's not. And people can fall prey to that very easily. There's a company I work with, one of our partners. What they do is they send phishing emails to their employees on a regular basis. And if an employee falls prey to that phishing attempt 3 times, they're fired. That's how seriously the CEO takes phishing and takes security. So phishing attempts are one thing, but with AI, the threats are getting more and more sophisticated. A CEO, or what you think is the CEO, is asking you to do something that you know you shouldn't. That's probably AI. That's what's beginning to happen now. So the threats are all around us. Security isn't the responsibility of one department. It's the responsibility of every employee and every contractor, everybody you have working for your organization. And it starts with training and awareness. If you want to create a culture of security, you have to get everybody engaged. When I think about security, I often think about it like health. For example, think about your health. Do you work out enough? I know that I should work out more. Do you have a healthy diet? Well, I try. Is your organization secure? Do you have a healthy security organization? I think you have to ask yourself that honest question before we go into the next episode. In the next episode, I'm going to give you actionable steps that are not difficult to help your organization be more secure. I look forward to seeing you there.